Hey, it's me, Tommy. Today we're going to take a look at the Nikkor Z24-70 f2.8 lens. It's what some people are calling the best lens ever developed in this zoom range. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I recently got the Z6 and this lens. I'm actually on the Z6 now, and we're looking through the 35mm f1.8. We'll be reviewing that in the next couple weeks. To get started here, this isn't gonna be a video where I take pictures of graphs and charts and squares and then zoom into the corner at 400% and look at the chromatic aberration. I don't wanna do video like that. This is gonna be more about the experience of using this lens. So let's put it on the camera. Now, everything being the same, I just put this lens on, and of course everything looks a little bit darker because we went from an f1.8 prime up to the f2.8. So obviously you're gonna need to compensate for a little bit more light. But now I can do this. But now we're back down to exactly 35mm. But let's fix the exposure. All right, so I had to go from ISO 200 up to ISO 400. Of course, that's not a problem for the Z6. It will handle ISOs up to 10,000 pretty well. You can't achieve as much bokeh as you can with the f1.8. Of course, it's the fastest zoom lens available for the Z6 system in its native format, as in the Z lenses that were developed for the Z system. So something I really like about the 24-70 f2.8S lens is this little screen on top that gives you a readout of the information in the lens, with a button that lets you cycle through different settings. This thing will let you see the distance to focus, exactly how many millimeters you're at in your zoom range, or your aperture. It's nice to have that little digital readout because I was able to zoom exactly to 35mm. I would have been guessing otherwise. Now we're gonna find out right now if it's parfocal. So we know this lens is parfocal, which is awesome. So if you focus on something and then you zoom in or out, you know that it will still be in focus. That's awesome. Of course, the barrel extends when you're zooming. The throw for the zoom is about 1/4 turn of the camera, and of course the barrel does extend when you are zooming, but the zoom throw has just enough tension in it to where if you let go of the zoom while pointing straight up and moving the camera around, it doesn't change the zoom setting. And that's good to know, so if you're pointing straight up, you're not going to be changing your zoom range. For example, on this 12 to 60mm lens, if I zoom all the way out and then point it straight up, like right here, and let go, it just zooms itself back out because the weight of the lens, it can't hold it. There's not enough tension. The weight of the lens feels really nice in the hand, zoomed in or out. You can just kind of cup the Z6 grip, with a little C shape, and it will lean slightly forward. When you zoom out all the way, the lens turns into a black hole, and it scares my dogs when I try and take pictures of them. The lens feels completely solid, nothing cheap about it. We've got a customizable function button on the lens, and we've got a customizable additional ring on the lens. It's super responsive when you're changing the focus. It follows your fingers almost exactly. There's only maybe a few milliseconds of delay between when you're changing it physically and when it shows up on that little screen. It's really nice. And finally, let's go take some video with it.
Bro, is that your new vlog setup?
What's up, guys? This is me, Tommy Calloway. Can you vlog with this lens? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to. It's a little big for vlogging, but it's still, you can get it wide enough, and because you're on a full frame, 24mm is actually pretty wide, and your head will fill the frame pretty well, as long as you don't mind the added weight. Now, I do have the 14 to 30mm on the way to the studio, and I think that one's going to be a little bit better choice for vlogging. I'll be reviewing that in the next couple weeks as well. Final thoughts. I did take this lens out to Cinegear and met with a couple of my friends, Josh and Greg, and they let me model them for a little bit. Taking pictures with this camera makes it feel like you're cheating at photography. Every picture just comes out beautiful. Focus is absolutely silent. and super fast, and it just looks wonderful. So here's a couple pictures that I took. You can judge for yourself whether or not they look any good. I'm not the best photographer, I just take videos of myself, but anyways, that's this lens. It's also very easy to balance on a gimbal. I'm using the Ronin S here. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. She just wants to be in the video. That was a good girl.